Hey Daydreamers! So I'm actually so excited for this pack. This is... Okay, so I just had to go check the name, but I'm so excited for this pack. This is the Old Ravenwood... Yes, the Old Ravenwood Estate. It's broken, it's falling down, it's not in the best condition, and I've had my Sims from my personal save move in. This is my personal save right now. And I really wanted them to move here. Technically I wanted them to move to the ghost world, but I feel like, or the ghost area, but I feel like the manor makes more sense with their storyline. We have Octavia, who's having a nap. She's a virtuoso spellcaster. And then we have Caleb. Everybody knows Caleb, but I have given him a makeover. And then over here we have Draven, who's a little vampire. And then we have Augustus, who's a little spellcaster. And then we have Thana, who just aged up, so she's like in the weirdest spot possible. But we have little Thana down there, and she's a spellcaster. So what I want to do with this, I've done nothing to this place really. I just imagine that they've moved in, they've tried to make it as like baby safe as possible. I really want to like darken the vibe down and really make it theirs. I actually played with the floor plan last night and I got that all sorted because I got impatient, but I only did what I normally do off of camera. So I'm going to go grab that and then we will get into furnishing it. Okay, so this originally wasn't intended to be a speed build, but I was struggling so much with trying to explore the new items of the pack while making it an interesting build and remembering to talk and everything that goes into actually making a video somewhat enjoyable. So I ended up just completely giving up on that idea of like having a normal video and just putting out a speed build, maybe trying that format. I do have another speed build recorded, but that happened because I just had no audio. My OBS just decided to be like, nah, with my audio one day, for absolutely no reason. Because I didn't change any settings, I just restarted OBS and it was fine. So that was originally supposed to be my first speedboard launch because I didn't really want to get rid of that footage after spending all day recording it and there being nothing wrong with it apart from, you know, no audio. But in here I'm just trying to pick a colour palette and match in wood tones and just really space plan. Especially with bigger rooms I really struggle, and I ended up giving up completely with the living room and going to a room that I thought I might be able to plan a bit better, which ended up being the kitchen. Now, I originally did go for this golden black, which I do really love. It was just, I end up putting an island in and it becomes very repetitive and like the same. And I also end up just shortening these cabinets all the way across because it just looked a bit strange. And now I'm taking out spaces for the appliances and not being able to find literally anything because I didn't really delete anything from this build. I kept it all in my household inventory because I was doing this with my personal save and I didn't know how much money it was going to take and it was a whole thing. But it ended up being absolutely fine in terms of funds. So this is me just putting the island in. I wish they'd, you know how they have variations on the wallpapers where if you tile a wallpaper it will just like keep going with the different patterns. I wish they would kinda had done something similar for this counter, because while it's not that noticeable on the like the black ones or like the one colour ones, that black and gold moment just gets very repetitive and the same, and it's just, I don't know, there's just something really off about it. It's just very loud and I wish there was just like a bit more variation in it. So here I am putting in cat things because I finally bought cats and dogs, finally, and I wanted to give them a cat, which I do. I don't think I do that on camera, but I have definitely given them a cat off camera. I'm just making sure I get everything around the place, and I thought like a nice little bed in front of the fire would be absolutely adorable. Now my plan for this is to sort of have like the main entrance area, which is commercial, because that part off to the left through that door directly above us is going to be her office, and I know it doesn't really work that way in The Sims, but in part of my storyline she's a virtuoso spellcaster, and she's going to become like the master of everything occult. She's going to have all the, can't do werewolves, so I don't have the werewolves pack, but she's going to be, you know, top knowledge in vampires, spellcasters, werewolves if I ever get that pack, thanatology, all of it, anything even mildly occult, she is going to know everything. She's besties with Grimm. I was considering having a science baby with Grimm, but she's already got 3 kids. She doesn't even like kids. I was hoping that having the children would like give her a lifestyle update or like a trait update, but that hasn't happened yet. Maybe that'll happen as they get older. But I didn't, while I want a baby with Grimm and I want it to be part of this family and household, I don't know how relevant that would be to their storyline. I absolutely adore that picture frame. That picture frame was part of the reason why I pre-ordered the pack, because just having like a really big ornate family picture, it fits blah, blah, blah. I can't edit this out either. It fits so many builds, and I really love that dark, like that crushed dark colour on the sofa from Cats and Dogs. I'd completely forgotten that existed. But it fits in so nicely with some of the paranormal pack stuff. And then this is me just trying to get all of her collections in, because in her previous house we had like an entire basement full of stuff. I built a basement specifically for her collections, and she had a spellcasting room, and then she had like a paranormal stuff room, like a seance room. But that wasn't going to work in here. We just didn't have the space for that, and I didn't want to eat into any more of like the main house, because I tried to keep the main house like the main house, and then like the side of it that could have maybe been an extension at some point, even though it doesn't really look like that, but it's just because it's like off to the side. I wanted that to be her office. And I also didn't want access to the office through the main house. That it felt important to keep that separate, so having it off the main entrance hall also made a lot of sense to me. Now, I cut out a lot of footage in terms of this office, so I hope it's not too fast paced and like it's not missing too much, but there was just so much of it with how long I spent in here fapping around. Also, her collections aren't all complete because this is my personal gameplay, and we're getting there. But she does have the fish needed for the potions, and she has I think she just needs one more frog, because I think you only need 3 frogs in total. And then I don't know whether she's got all the crystals she needs for the potions, but she's got a copy poster, so it's not really important. I'm doing it more for the aesthetic. But I do kind of want like all the crystals, because, you know, I also want all the crystals in my real life. This is me just trying to figure out the chairs. That took me a while as well. And then I was actually surprised how well this pack paired with other packs like Love Struck. I think the colour palettes between Love Struck and this one are actually quite cohesive. I faffed about for a long time with artwork, trying to figure everything out, and I ended up just adding in like a load of ornate stuff, and just trying out a bunch of things, some of which landed and some of which got deleted very quickly. I just tried to add things that would make sense, like older things that they could have like collected, or maybe some stuff that came with the property. And just because Caleb's old, and Octavia is my own sim, but yeah, like she collects the older stuff. She likes all that sort of thing. I'm not quite sure about that tiling of that picture 3 times, but I think I was getting tired by this point, and I was just like, it works. And then I did want to get some like plants in around the place, like not too many, but just like throwing a couple in here and there. And then I was like, this kitchen's very bare, we should probably clutter some of this up. So I didn't do very much, but I did enough to make it look lived in. I really like that plant. I don't know what it is, but yeah, it makes a space. And then this little robin bird thing is absolutely adorable. I don't think they're robins at all, but canaries? They might be canaries. And then moving upstairs, the only reason... Oh, I don't think I meant to keep that in. Oh well. The only reason I allowed this floor plan with that small bedroom, only having 1 window compared to all the other bedrooms. Well, it's not a small bedroom, but all the other bedrooms having like 15 windows, is because one of my children, Draven, is a vampire, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, he can have the room with no windows because checks out. Like, just shove a curtain on it and he'll be fine. Otherwise, yeah, we probably would have like tried to have made it an office or rethought the floor plan in some way, because if that was a room for like a normal sim, that would have been like really sad. I've faffed about with this floor plan in this nursery for so long. I cut out so much footage of that. And then also trying to get the colours correctly, because it really annoyed me, because you've got this black and purple vibe on the crib, but then that doesn't come through on the purple furniture, because it's like a really nice light lilac that doesn't really make a lot of sense with the black, in my opinion. And it was just really frustrating because I loved that purple vibe, and I think I end up getting rid of it because I just can't make it work in my own mind, because I have the golds going through, and in order, yeah, there we go, and in order to, you know, have this black and purple vibe, I would have had to have had the black and silver furniture, and I really didn't want that. And then I got a smaller version of the cats and dogs chair, because I think it's always important to have like a chair or a bed or something in a nursery, because you get tired. Putting a baby to bed, or, you know, nursing in the middle of the night or whatever, it's not easy. Yeah, and then for now I put the toddlers in together, so Draven and Augustus I put in together, because I think I go through this in the build tour. I can't speak today. But I didn't want to separate them, and I know they're only Sims, but they're only little, and I just imagine like if they weren't Sims and they were real babies and you separated them, and how sad they'd be, and scared, and like big empty, you know, having a big room like this and it just being you when you've had your little brother or your big brother the whole time. So I've moved them now because they're the children, and they've aged up, but so they've got their own rooms now, but while they were still little I kept them together. And then I turned Draven's future room into a playroom, so we had something, we had like a gameplay element, and I'm not really sure it got used very much, but it was there, it was an option. Yeah, and then this is me just going through and placing toys around the place. I used that tarot playhouse thing. Well, it's not a playhouse, but I used it as a playhouse, and I got the actual one in as well, so, you know, there was something functional. But it just looked really cute, and I could imagine that the kids were playing in it because Mummy does tarot, and, you know, pretending to be their mum, and I thought that was really sweet. But yeah, as I said, it doesn't function. It would have been nice if they'd had like a play-in function or something for like toddlers at least, but it's fine, like we can't have it all. And I'm probably in the minority of people that would have used it for that, so like it's fine. It was like having mirrors in play spaces but we're just gonna imagine that it's like plexiglass rather than like actual glass, because if that broke, that would be bad. And I also like this corridor being here because you have the like the small high hatched window, cross hatched windows, as opposed to like proper windows, so it made sense for it to be more sort of like a corridor or something rather than like a bedroom like it was before. No, I don't think there was anything particularly wrong with it being in a bedroom, but because that bedroom did have like a load of other windows as well. It's just my personal preference. Also trying to get that litter box literally anywhere was such a pain. It just like, it doesn't fit the vibe or the aesthetic, which like obviously, but it was just, I needed to put it somewhere, and it just, I didn't want it like just out in a hallway. I struggled. But that's my own fault for being so fussy. And then because I'm being fussy with this bath mat as well, I end up spinning the shower around and just building a wall so that they can share the same bath mat. And then this room I keep straightened off. I change it back briefly, but it just made furnishing the room so much easier. And then we also get like a nice walk-in wardrobe moment that leads through to an ensuite bathroom. I think it was at this sort of point I was realising how weirdly shaped this room was, and I was like, ah, shit. Yeah, I need to be able to get a bed and everything in here. So I think, yeah, we end up going for that bed, and I do change the colour. We go for a more red vibe, because Caleb likes red. And yeah, that one. I do really like that design, and I think it ties in very well with like the red passion of that picture, which is why I'm glad I kept it up here. And we just go for a big black rug to like soften everything down a little bit, because that bed cover is quite intense. And then we get the costume box out, because I feel like Octavia and Caleb would be a bit of fun like that. Yeah, and then I'm just straightening things back out and trying to get like a coffee table moment in with like some chairs. And then we get a few like date night items out on the table. I'm just experimenting with colours, trying to get everything worked out. I think I end up moving that bigger picture and like swapping these two over. I think it just like suits a bit more. Yeah, there we go. And then we get a few things out on the table, like some roses. I think I do the VIP bucket as well, and I think the woohoo game or whatever it is, but I don't think I'm doing that yet. I'm just like mapping out the floor plan and trying to work things out, because I knew that I wanted the walk-in wardrobes, like the big wardrobes in here, but I didn't realise I wasn't going to be able to get anything else in here with like door clearance and window placements, and it was like a whole thing. Sorry, yawning. That was not the plan. Yeah, I really liked it in here. It was just like a sweet sort of dressing up moment. I don't think I end up keeping this. I think I end up moving that to the bathroom. And having like just it's right in the middle of two quite big doors. Like you'd constantly be smacking that, and like I know it's The Sims, but that's the kind of realism that I like. I also noticed that we didn't have a mirror in here, so I used that spot for a mirror instead. And then I think we get the big counters out and have like a proper like basin moment. And then we get like a big bathtub and I think a shower as well. Yeah, that's me just like figuring it out. And then we put the end pieces. I do believe we end up getting rid of the gold again and just softening it down to black. I do remember that I couldn't find like a bath mat that I was happy with, so I ended up just sort of like skewing one across the floor, which does really annoy me, but I couldn't think of a better solution at the time. And then this is me being like sorely disappointed with the towel selection because everything else is gold, and then I have to put in a silver towel, and I'm not happy about it. I just thought I would experiment with the red, see if I could get the red vibe coming through, but I didn't really like it, so I just sort of left it. Yeah, I try out a few different ones because I wanted it for the shower and sort of the bath as well, and I thought, oh, that's perfect, but then I realised that it's 4 tiles, not 3, and then it didn't fit, and it was, yeah. I'm too fussy for my own good, but here we are. And then that was 2 tiles, and that wasn't enough. And I don't remember what I ended up doing in the end, but yeah, maybe I keep that. Yeah, I just skewed that one. I was like, oh, it'll do. I really love those pendant lights, like the sconces. I feel like I'm going to be using them a lot. I feel like they pair quite well with the paranormal stuff ones. Is it paranormal stuff? Yeah, like the ones that hang like over the table. I feel like we got the same sort of vibe going. And then I put more in here. I can't remember if I keep them or not, but and then I remembered that we had these tarot prints, and I just like put a bunch around the place. Moving upstairs to Caleb's office, I really didn't know what to do with this space, and I was like, well, everybody else has got a space apart from Caleb, so you know, let's give him something. And he's currently in, I changed him to the love career. I don't know why, but I just thought that was really sweet. I don't know if he'll stay in that career in my gameplay, but I gave him a work from home office, something, you know, a space for him and just him. And then obviously Octavia can come up here and they want to, and like, you know, hang out. Just experimenting with colours, trying to get everything right. I really love this green though. It's such a pretty colour. We don't have enough of that type of green in the game, so I'm really glad that they've added some more. And I was trying to scale up that rug, but it didn't scale to the size of the room, so I just put it under the desk as like a nice moment. And then I thought, like, while morbid, it could be really cute to have like a funeral table in here, like the I can't remember what it's called exactly, but just use it as like storage and like a shelf. Because I mean, technically Caleb is dead, if you think about it. And then I thought we could get like a nice meditation yoga space up here, because Octavia did have one in the old house up on like a balcony. So as we don't have a balcony, I thought it would be nice to just add it in somewhere. And then I'm trying to fit in their bear rug, and then it doesn't really fit in this room, and it just looks a bit weird. So I end up, oh, we do have a balcony, it's out there, but I think the upstairs one's a bit more secluded and private. And yeah, so I put that rug out on the main balcony. And then I'm just trying to get in all of Octavia's plants, and I did pretty well in terms of the plant pots that were already here, but I just needed to get 2 more, I think, because she had a lot of trees. So she's got the ingredients for every single potion, and then along with the plasma tree, I think wolfsbane. I don't know whether we needed wolfsbane for potions, I can't remember. But she's got wolfsbane, she's got plasma fruit, and she's got the crystal tree as well, because obviously we're trying to get all the crystal collections, and it just makes it slightly easier. And then we're coming to the end now, because I remember this is the last thing that I did, and I just wanted like a slightly more intimate. Okay, so we are done. Thank you for watching the speed build. Let me know your feedback down below, because that's the first, it's not the first speed build I've recorded, but it's the first speed build that I've published. Let's just get in and tour it. So if we come in the front door, we have our crow stand, which is in our main entrance area. And because I pre-ordered this pack, I get this legacy frame, and that's adorable. If we do the office first, so if we come through this way, I think this was from the Reaper Awards, but if we come around this way, we have a little entrance waiting area, and then coming through finally into the main space. So we have a nice little seating area, seance table, just stuff everywhere, the freezer bonies, some random oddity collections. This is just a little bathroom, cauldron, crystals for potions and stuff, the fish, and also the main potions as well. So got a right little occult collection going on. Because this is my personal game, not everything is finished. I don't have all the collections. And then coming back out of the office, we can come into the main house, where we have another smaller, more intimate entryway. And if we come around this way, we have another little bathroom in here. And then we have the main living area. I'm gonna pop out here. Yeah, I am. I'm gonna pop out here quickly. I didn't want to add like outdoor furniture because half of us are vampires. Oh, somebody's left some mess on the floor. I didn't want to tempt fate with that. But coming into the greenhouse, we have a nice big space for all Octavia's plants. We've got Patchy as well in here to look after it all. And then coming round this way, we have some play equipment, and we also have the graveyard. Other than swapping one of these tombstones out for her widowed husband, Octavia's widowed husband, I didn't touch the graveyard at all, and he's not in the main fantasy plot because he cheated on her and he does not deserve that. And he also does not respect boundaries because now he's causing problems with Octavia and Caleb's relationship because he flirted with Octavia. Right, so coming through this way, we have the main living space, and we have a space for dancing. Both Caleb and Octavia love dancing, so a space for dancing. We've got a little bar with an intimate seating area, with their marriage certificate and picture they took on their wedding day on the wall. We've got loads of tarot pictures around the place. We've got a little coffee bar, and then along with the main kitchen, big island. Everything we need for a cat as well, which I will add in a second. And then we have a nice big dining room in here. And then if we pop out this door, we are just back round in the main lobby. So if we come upstairs, in here we have the main bedroom. This is for Caleb and Octavia. Nice little walk-through dressing room. Coming into a nice big ensuite bathroom. And then if we come back out, and in here we have the main bedroom. This is the main bathroom. I had to fast forward the night to try and get better lighting on the build, so that did mean I have 2 toddlers and an infant. I needed a nanny. And then in here we have Thana's nursery. The storybook kit came in handy for this one. I really do love this kit. It's really sweet. And then coming further down, if we just pop out here for a second, out here all I really put was the woo-woo rug because I needed to put it somewhere, and that is undercover, so Caleb should be alright. And then coming down this way, this will eventually be Draven's bedroom, but for now it's a playroom because they're not twins, but they are quite close in age. They've always shared a room, so I wasn't going to separate them, and they're big rooms on their own. And I know they're only Sims, but I imagine if it's real life and how they'd feel being separated for the first time. So yeah, they're still sharing a bedroom until they're a bit older. Okay, so then coming upstairs again. Oh, I'll fix the ceiling paint on that. I swear I did that. We have this door here, and this is just a little office for Caleb. He's got his coffin up here, desk, and working from home if he wants to, and he's just got a nice little space. And then if we go up the stairs again, we have a rooftop area. The view on here is a bit whacked, but I can't get it any better. And then we just have a little meditation and a yoga space up here. So that is everything for today. Thank you for hanging out with me. Again, let me know what you thought about the speed build format. It does allow us to do more things potentially. I upload my schedule every single Monday to my YouTube community tab, so keep an eye out for that. But just generally, I live stream alternate Wednesdays and occasional Saturdays, which is why I post my schedule so then people know what I'm doing. And I live stream on YouTube, so even if you can't catch it when I go live, the VOD will be there under the live tab, so you can catch it after the fact if you want to. But if live streams really aren't your thing, then there is always a video every single Friday. For the whole of November, we will be focusing on Ravenwood. I'm open to all sorts of suggestions. Throw anything at me. But I do want to move the Goths to Ravenwood. And I wanted to do that even before I found out that there was a connection between the Gomes and... I think it's the Gomes and the Goths. This place just feels like the Goth sort of vibe. And if you don't have any Ravenwood suggestions, then throw some festive Christmas suggestions at me, because the first 3 videos of December will be festive themed. It doesn't necessarily have to be Christmas, it could be any festivity, any holiday that takes place in December. But with that, thank you for hanging out with me today, and I will see you next time. Bye!